Good evening. Welcome to the May 21st Downers Grove Village Council meeting. Before we get started, if you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. April, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Colavani?
Here.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit?
Here.
Commissioner Wallace?
Here.
Commissioner Earl?
Here.
Commissioner Jose?
Here.
Mayor Barnett?
Here. Thank you, April. For those here in council chambers, there are copies of the agenda on either side of the room by the doors. For those watching at home, the agenda is available online at the village's website. It's actually probably a little more fun because there's live links. As we go forward tonight, there'll be several opportunities for public comment. There's a place for non-agenda items that will be at in a moment, as well as we cover each agenda item going forward. So the first item of business is minutes of past council meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Mayor Barnett, I move to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. So this is the first opportunity for public comment. If there's anybody here tonight that would have some comments for the council, not specific to any agenda items, please go ahead and tell us what you got to say. Right there at the podium, please.
My name is Vasquez Frederick. We've been residents of Downers Grove for 35 years. You could check the record. The police have never come to our house because we've done something where someone complained about us. We have had a dog barking problem from the spring of 2017. And the first officer arrived. After 4 months or so, we started complaining to the officials. We tried to talk it out with our neighbor, and it was going in. He wasn't paying attention. Okay, I can be a little rude.
That's fine.
Okay?
We get it.
But I don't want to
We
be
get
like
it.
that.
Thank you.
Anyway, we have had 5 officers, 5 times, go for dog barking. And subsequently, all the times, he has said that he couldn't train the dogs. They're both deaf, and I couldn't understand why. He says he has problems with the dogs, he has to take them out one at a time. I said, well, why didn't, if he takes one out, the other one barks. Hello? I says, why didn't you think of that before you brought the second one? You know, I'm not smart. Common sense. 5 times the officers have been out there. This last time, the officer issued a citation. Lo and behold, the barking diminished down to almost 0. Now, he's been telling the officers and us he can't train them. I told him in no uncertain terms, either the dogs are too stupid to learn, or let me see, maybe you're too stupid to teach them. So the cop or the officer gave him a ticket, everything went down. Now we're told by the officer that he wants to appear to contest the charges, or whatever you people do. So I'm here to find out what I have to do for my wife and I to fight this or do whatever we have to do. And that's it.
Thank you. I appreciate you
Oh,
coming.
one other thing.
Yep.
What I don't understand in my limited education, if it took the officers, 5 officers, and right now we know one of them, the first one told them, you've got to correct this problem. If it took 4 subsequent officers before we got a ticket written, how much time, resource, and village money went into checking every one of these stops?
So it would have been a lot, but that's part of what we do. This body here does not actually hear contested citations. What sounds like, I know it's frustrating to you, but what's happening there is the process itself is working. We have complaints on a variety of issues, we start to investigate them. The first step is to try and have people do things voluntarily. At some point, that doesn't work, and citations have to be issued. As far as your next step relative to whatever court proceedings might transpire, I think either our village attorney or village manager will be able to give you that information, so if you make sure they have how to contact you, they can get that to you. It won't happen here in front of this body.
Well, that's why we just want to find out what
Sure.
steps we have to take, because like I told the cop before last, I says, if we get in a scuffle or an argument.
Yeah, avoid that if you can.
No, well, no, it doesn't matter to me.
It's like the second hit in hockey, you know, it's not good.
It doesn't matter to me. The thing is that I'll be the one that'll be dragged away.
That's right, yeah. So.
Mayor, if I could, I'll have
Sure.
Lieutenant Lykemer work with these residents real quick here tonight just to get the information, and then we can
Perfect.
follow up in the next couple of days.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? All right, if not, we'll move to consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mayor Barnett, I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Approved unanimously. Takes us to our active agenda for tonight. We have 3 items on our active agenda. Dave, do you want to talk about some of these a little bit? No, I didn't want you to run away in case we have a question here.
I'm just going to have,
Okay. Drag your feet. So the first item on tonight's active agenda is an ordinance for a special use. Is there a motion?
Mayor Barnett, I move that the council adopt an ordinance authorizing a special use for 62 Ogden Avenue to permit a drive-through as presented.
Second.
Is there any discussion from the council on the subject? Okay, anybody from the audience with a comment on this issue? Okay, April, could you call the roll?
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Earl?
Aye.
Commissioner Kolovany?
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski Fugit?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Mayor Barnett?
Aye. Motion approved unanimously. Second item is an ordinance for another special use. Is there a motion?
Mayor Barnett, I move that the council adopt an ordinance authorizing a special use for 2300 Wisconsin Avenue to permit a personal vehicle repair and maintenance business as presented.
Second.
Any council questions or discussion? Anybody from the audience want to address this issue? Okay, April, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Earl?
Aye.
Commissioner Kolovany?
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski Fugit?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Mayor Barnett?
Aye. Motion's approved unanimously. Third active agenda item for tonight, it concerns water rates. Is there a motion?
Mayor Barnett, I move that the council adopt an ordinance amending the rates charged for water as presented.
Second.
Is there any council comment or question on this one? Questions from the audience? I'm sorry, Marge, go ahead.
Just to remind everyone, this is a direct pass-through of a rate increase that we got from the DuPage Water Commission. So,
Thank
no
you.
more, no less.
Thank you. Any questions from the audience? April, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Earl?
Aye.
Commissioner Kolovany?
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski Fugit?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Mayor Barnett?
Aye. That ends our active agenda and takes us to our first reading. There are two items tonight. Dave?
Thank you, Mayor Barnett. As you said, just 2 items tonight on our first reading agenda. The first is consideration of award of contract for improvements at Forest North parking lot. Here to provide background information on this item is our Public Works Director, Dan Newland.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have an item to present tonight. This is a motion requested to award a contract for the improvement of Forest North parking lot improvements to Chicagoland Paving Contractors, Inc. of Lake Zurich, Illinois, in the amount of $483,664.50. Forest Lot North is in the downtown. It is south of the Burlington Tracks, north of Warren Avenue, between Forest and Main Street. It consists of a mix of downtown business employee permit and 3-hour public parking. It's immediately north of the library. The improvements that are planned here include not only replacing the pavement and the curbs, we're also going to be adding a sidewalk along the north side of Burlington Avenue. So there'll be a sidewalk on both sides of the street, making it a lot more accessible for pedestrians in that area. We're going to replace some storm sewer. We're going to be adding some bioswales. permeable pavers, and some new landscaping, all to improve water quality and to improve the appearance of the parking lot. So that's one of the major factors in this project was the schedule of it. As you know, our downtown can be busy in the summer, so the construction is planned to occur immediately after the end of Rotary Fest and to be completed before Oktoberfest. So we're putting it right in between those two busy times in the downtown. We do also have parking identified for the people that were to be disrupted from this project. So we did issue a call for bids for this work. We received 3 responses, and Chicagoland Paving was the low bidder. They have completed prior projects for the village, including parking lot improvements for us as well as District 58, and I would be happy to answer any questions you have about this contract.
Thank you, Nan. Any questions from the council?
I don't have any questions. I'm just really excited to see the use of natives, bioswales, and permeable pavers in this project, so that was...
Rich, do you have something?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. Have we used permeable pavers in a parking lot? And other than Grove, do we have, as a village, experience with permeable pavers?
I can't think of a parking lot example. We did a couple on parts of a street, but I don't think, well, I'm trying to think of a village parking lot. I don't believe so.
Okay.
But we're experienced with District 99's experience on their permeable paver on the North High.
And anything that was either learned from that or learned from our experience at Grove as to better practices?
No, I don't think so. It's being a parking lot, it won't get the heavy kind of traffic and loading that you would see on a street, so we don't anticipate any problems. It also is not going to be the entire parking lot, it's going to be a portion of the parking lot.
Okay.
And it'll only be in some areas where it's going to be parking itself and not a through aisle.
Okay. One of the line items showed the removal of 22 trees, which amazed me.
They vary in size. We're going to be planting more trees than we are removing. So I think in the net result will be better quality of trees and better landscaping overall in the parking lot.
Okay, because the line item showed that they were planting 8 trees and 215 shrubs.
I can check the quantities. I don't know if what you're referring to is the inch I don't know what the unit is. It could be inch diameter, or it could be each. I don't know what that offhand, but I can let you know.
It was just the each. It was a contractor's list of line items and what the prices were. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions from the audience on this item? Okay, moving on then.
The last item on tonight's first reading agenda is consideration of an ordinance authorizing the extension of a special use for the property at 2125 Ogden. Here to present background information on this request is our Director of Community Development, Stan Popovich.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. As Manager Fielman noted, this is a special use extension request for 2125 Ogden Avenue, located on the west side of Ogden Avenue here in Downers Grove, at the southeast corner of the intersection of Belmont and Ogden. If you remember, about a year ago, the petitioner was approved for 2 special uses. The first was a gas station with a convenience store on the left-hand side with a canopy sort of in the middle of the screen there, and then a drive-through restaurant on the east side of the property line there. The petitioner has gone through the process but has not yet picked up a permit at this point, and special uses lapse after 1 year if a permit has not been issued. Petitioner submitted revisions just this morning to continue to move forward with the project as well. The petitioner is requesting a 6-month extension. Approval is at the discretion of the Village Council. The Village Council has the discretion to extend the request up to 2 times. The petitioner is here tonight as well to address you and discuss a little bit about their request. If I can answer any questions at this time, I can do that, or if you'd prefer me to just turn it over to the petitioner, that's fine as well.
If I could just real quick, I just wanted to make sure everybody caught that bit of new information since the Monday phone calls. The petitioner has submitted a re-application, a resubmittal for a building permit activity on the site, so that is really good news. That took place, I think, late yesterday afternoon, and we took him in, start review this morning. Thank you.
I'd like to turn it over to the petitioner next.
Thank you, Stan. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members, for having me here today. My name is Sean O'Leary, and I represent Power Mart. And as Stan indicated, we are asking for an extension on our special use that expired recently. We just want to give you an update on the present state of affairs. We are moving forward with this project. I've been tasked with making sure things are moving along. I've been working with Stan and his team. Stan's been fantastic, and we'd like to compliment him on his great work. As soon as we get the permits, we plan on going straight into demolition. Just a quick update is with DDOT and IDOT, we're exchanging stuff with them. We probably have on a list of like 10 items to do with IDOT, and we'll have the IDOT stuff done and also get DDOT done. So we are moving along rapidly, and one of the reasons why this project, and the main reason this project got delayed, is we had an engineering firm that is no longer in business, and things didn't go well with that engineering firm, and they worked with us last in October 2018. We hired Jacob Hafner and Associates. We're working well with them. They couldn't start, they had to start a little later because of the weather for the work on the ground. So right now, we're really happy with where things are at. And like I said, we proposed timeline is demolition will take roughly a week, and we look at potentially a 6-month period for completion. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. O'Leary. Any questions from the council? Rich?
Are there any material changes from what was previously approved on the plans?
I don't think there's material changes. I think it's going to be the same setup of the convenience store and the restaurant. And we're really well aware of the Downers Grove requirements. So we haven't had anything material that's going to change from the original plans that I'm aware of.
One more question.
Sure,
Were you ever
sure.
able to get any resolution from the owner to the south regarding the alley vacation?
That I'm not sure of.
Okay.
I think that had to have been resolved prior to the approval of the last,
Yeah.
was actually approved, so yes,
It was-
addressed.
Pardon? It has been resolved. The alley's been resolved.
Okay, thank you.
That's Kevin Burks, our construction supervisor, superintendent.
That was a challenge a while ago, but it was contingent. The vacation was contingent on this body being satisfied with that aspect of it. Any other questions? Oh, I'm sorry. All right, no further questions. Any questions from the audience? Seeing none, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Barnett. That concludes our first reading for this evening.
Thank you, Dave. For the mayor's report, I have just a short thing I'd like to read here before we move on to the manager's report. This is the last council meeting before Memorial Day, which is next Monday, May 27th. Our own Alexander Bradley Burns American Legion Post 80 will hold its 100th annual Memorial Day observance for the village of Downers Grove. At 10:45 Monday morning, members of Post 80 will parade it from Main Street at Burlington to Fishel Park, where an observance will begin at 11. All are welcome and encouraged to attend. There are competing claims as to the place and origin of Memorial Day, but in 1966, Congress and President Lyndon Johnson declared Waterloo, New York, the birthplace of Memorial Day, based on a ceremony which took place there May 5, 1866, honoring local veterans who had fought in the Civil War. By the end of the 19th century, Memorial Day ceremonies are being held on May 30th throughout the nation, and state legislatures passed proclamations designating the day, and the Army and Navy adopted regulations for proper observance at their facilities. It's not until after World War I, however, that the day was expanded to honor those who died in all American wars. In 1971, Memorial Day was declared a national holiday by an act of Congress. It was then placed on the last Monday in May. If you're unable to join Post 80 in observance at Fishel Park, please take some time to observe Memorial Day in some way. In between the outdoor activities, food, family, and friends, don't forget to acknowledge the real meaning of Memorial Day, which is honoring those who lost their lives while serving in the armed forces. No matter where you are or what you're doing, pause for 1 minute at 3 p.m. local time, Monday, May 27th, to quietly reflect on those who died serving in the military. By doing so, you'll be joining millions of Americans in national unity to honor Memorial Day for what it truly is, a day to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. And if you have an American flag at home, be sure to fly it at half-staff until noon, and then raise it promptly to full mast for the rest of the day. This practice of lowering and then raising the flag is observed for over 100 years to symbolize America's persistence in the face of loss. The Village of Downers Grove thanks and remembers those who gave their lives in service to our country, and we hope to see you all downtown on Monday. With that, Dave, manager's report.
No report tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Fantastic. Attorney's report?
Thank you, Mayor. Only one item tonight to present, and that is an ordinance authorizing the extension of special uses to permit construction of a drive-through restaurant facility and a fueling station at 2125 Ogden Avenue. It will be on the next active agenda.
Awesome. Thank you, Enzo. Council member reports. Start with Marge.
No report, Mayor.
Greg?
Thank you, Mayor. This past Wednesday, along with Commissioner Earl, I had the honor of attending the ceremony remembering Officer Barth, who is the only police officer who has given his life in the line of duty here in the Village of Downers Grove. It was a beautiful day, and we had many representatives from the police department, fire department, and village staff, and the community at large, and had a great ceremony in remembrance of Officer Barth and honoring his sacrifice, members of his family there. And it was truly an honor to be able to be there and take part in it. It happens, of course, every year during National Police Week, and I hope folks will come out next year and every other year that we hold the ceremony. And we truly honor his sacrifice every year through that ceremony. It's a great thing to see. Also attended the EDC meeting this past Friday, which was Mayor Barnett's first Economic Development Corporation meeting. The group welcomed him, and also heard a presentation from the DuPage Visitors Bureau on how they're working to bring in new events, new conventions, new sporting events in particular to DuPage County, and hopefully we can have some of those here in Downers Grove as well. So the EDC is working hard, as is the DuPage Visitors Bureau, and we look forward to their continued success. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Greg. Commissioner Colavini?
No report, Mayor.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit?
Just trying to look this up. I just remembered something. No report. Sorry.
Want to come back?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah.
Commissioner Wallace?
Thank you, Mayor. I do have a couple things here. Most important, well, I won't say that, but very important, 30 days until Rotary Grove Fest. I hope everyone is getting excited for all of these updates every week. We also have Ben's Memorial Mile coming up, which is Saturday, June 15th from 5 to 9 p.m. At Downers Grove North High School. I have not yet registered, but I see that registration price increases after 5/25, which is in a couple days. So I have now written that date down and will be registering tomorrow. It is $20 for unlimited events, and they also have a little kids 100-meter dash, which my girls will be doing, which is only $5. So come out, support a great event on Saturday, June 15th from 5 to 9. And lastly, we have our first Summer Nights Classic Car Show this Friday, which is really exciting. So that is, it is Ford, Mercury, Lincoln, no Mustangs. And that is, and there's live entertainment from 7 to 9, so car shows from 6 to 9, entertainment starts an hour after that, so come on down to downtown Downers Grove, have dinner, walk around. It's normally a really nice time, and hopefully the weather is not what it was today. That is all, Mayor.
Thank you. Fantastic. With that, we would normally be adjourning, but we're going to continue this evening in closed session to further our discussion from last week concerning replacement of the vacant council position. So do I have a motion?
Mayor, I move that the council convene into closed session pursuant to Section 2C3 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act to consider the selection of a person to fill a village office, which the village council is given the power to appoint under law.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimously, we are moving to closed session. Thank you.